Because I was banned from Facebook for a whole week this time. I'm not very happy about it, and I've sent them plenty of support tickets, to which I don't really get any responses because, of course, they're not really using humans to enforce these things. No, they're using an auto-flagging algorithm to identify information that they don't want spread. And, you know, I've tiptoed around for a while, for a long time actually. I've tried to stay away from being too controversial because, of course, I want to be. I want to be able to use my Facebook account. I want to be able to connect with people, and I try to remain neutral. I try not to be biased. I try to check my biases. I try and think about both sides of issues. I like to think about things a lot, but I also like to question my own point of view, as well as established narratives on things. Asking questions is important. Learning to ask even better questions is even more important. And, you know, for a long time I was really upset with politics. And so I started studying things that could be measured, you know. I started looking at the earthquakes. I started looking at the different cities around the world in various countries. I started doing a deep dive on the past. I have been watching solar flares, been learning about how to study weather events. I've spent a lot of time thinking carefully, and yet the past 2 years have been extremely frustrating for me. I've talked about this so many times, and yet perhaps I need to talk about it a little bit more. You see, Facebook, when I first joined Facebook, it wasn't very complex. It was another form of forum messaging boards in a way. It had a different format. You had a news feed. Now, they didn't call it a news feed back then. There was just the home page where you'd see posts from people that you follow, and then you'd have your own page where you'd have things that were posted. And it wasn't really that different from other sites I had used in the past. It didn't play music like MySpace, which is fine because that was kind of an annoying feature, the autoplay music. But it's funny that people on Twitter are now wishing that you could listen to music when you view somebody's page. You could hear their favorite song, which is hilarious to me. I used to use a forum. I've used a couple different forum message boards over the years, and the one thing that really frustrated me about it all is that it wasn't permanent. And the one thing I really liked about Facebook was that they were allowing me to upload a lot of photos, and so I've uploaded a lot of photos, and I've tried to make my profile beautiful. I've tried to create content daily that people can appreciate, that will inspire and uplift people, but I do continually talk about current events. I think it's important to be able to communicate about the things that are going on in the world, not necessarily because I think I have all the answers, but because we need to ask the questions and we need to think about things that are going on, and the only way we can find out the truth is by having a discussion about it and presenting the evidence. And if I share something, I am not necessarily trying to project some sort of agenda, but get input and hear what people think. and see if we can find the truth, or at least glimpse the truth more accurately. And so 2 years ago there was a photo circulating of a certain little girl with a Syrian, allegedly, and the photo had been circulating and I saw it several times, and so I thought, well, I'm gonna fact check this. I'm gonna figure out where this image came from. And so I did a reverse image search on it, and it took me to a 2011 Sun News article. So mainstream news article posted this picture, and it was now circulating on Facebook. And so I thought, okay, well, found the source, so I shared the link, and I was automatically banned for a week. I was flagged and my account was restricted. And that week I was quite upset. I was like, why? Why was I banned? And I appealed it. I disputed it. But I never received a response from anyone. They didn't bother to review it, as far as I could tell. And then I have been banned from live streaming. And so I had a 90-day live stream ban on top of my week ban. And then when that ban ended, I got another ban from another auto-flagged comment. And without going into all the details, I got another ban and another ban and another ban and another ban. And I have been disputing it again and again and again and again. But they are now auto-flagging images and links that they don't like. And I used to say that Facebook was a double-edged sword. It was a tool that could do a lot of good, but also a tool that could be very dangerous. And I said this since 2008. But it's very clear that Facebook is now a double-edged sword that has been stabbed through our guts, and it hurts too much to pull out. And Facebook is saying, take a week, cool off. We don't want you updating to your stories. We don't want you changing your profile picture. We don't want you leaving comments or making new posts. No, you have been banned for 7 days for talking about something that we don't want you to talk about. And this is something that should have been talked about in the very beginning, because they have based policy off of what this person has been saying. And it turns out that he's been lying. But my comment can cause physical harm. I disagree, and I dispute this, and I'm not happy, and I feel that the time to exit Facebook is now. I think that the time for the mass exodus probably should have happened about a year ago, definitely in October, when they forced us all to agree to these new terms, which say, you agree to be banned if we ban you. If you continue to use this platform, you agree to these terms of use. And I don't. I do not consent to this kind of blatant disregard for my right to free expression. I do not consent to Facebook censoring me and preventing me from sharing information. Whether it's true or false does not matter. Facebook has no right. Now, they can say they have the right, but I disagree, and I think there's a lot of people out there who disagree as well. They're not remaining neutral. They're imposing automatically through these algorithms their agenda, and they're shaping society, they're shaping opinions, they're controlling narratives, and they've been caught outright manipulating people So what are we going to do about this? Well, this week, instead of posting on Facebook, I'm going to talk to my GoPro. I'm going to upload some new videos to my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to find some people who'd like to talk about Facebook, about expression, about freedom, about truth, about life. And this is what I primarily set out to do years ago when I uploaded my YouTube channel. My first video is me walking and talking about how I was getting my computer upgraded, and now in 2021, unlike back in 2007, I actually have a computer that works really well, and I have a nice high-definition video camera compared to those old clips you might have seen if you've been a fan for a long time. No, it's time to focus a little bit more on video, and time to focus on creating a conversation and having a conversation about the things that matter. So I have been reaching out recently, looking for people who'd like to share a story about 2020 for them and how life has unfolded. It didn't happen like we expected, but in many ways, it happened exactly as we expected, and we prayed would not happen. The world has changed a lot since I was a kid. The world that I grew up in does not exist anymore, and the status quo cannot be maintained. It is sad to